If a supplement can't move a lab number, it is not heart health. It is expensive optimism in a capsule. And the cholesterol aisle is full of optimism. Psyllium, plant sterols, bergamot, red yeast rice, garlic, turmeric, fish oil. Mystery blends with names that sound like they were invented during a marketing retreat in a hot tub. But today we are ranking 4 of the most searched cholesterol supplements by the only standard that should matter. Does it move LDL-C, non-HDL cholesterol, or ApoB enough to matter? And is the risk worth the size of the nudge? This is not a supplement love story, and it is not a supplement takedown. Some cholesterol supplements are useful, some are underwhelming, and one of them can work because it may secretly behave like a drug, just without the clarity of a prescription label. So here is the adult framework. If LDL needs a 5 to 10% nudge, certain supplements may help. If LDL or ApoB needs a 40 to 60% reduction, that is not a supplement problem anymore. That is a clinician conversation wearing a lab coat and tapping its watch. Before we rank anything, we need the evidence ladder. At the top, we have randomized controlled trials and meta-analyses showing changes in LDL-C, non-HDL cholesterol, or ApoB. In the middle, we have smaller trials, short-duration studies, and data tied to very specific formulations. Lower down, we have mechanisms, testimonials, influencer stats, and before and after screenshots taken at suspicious lighting angles. At the bottom is the red flag zone. Products that only work if they contain hidden drug-like actives, products with poor standardization, or products that need liver and muscle guardrails but are sold like harmless kitchen spices. And there is one trial that gives this entire conversation a reality check. The SPORT trial compared low-dose rosuvastatin with placebo and several common supplements, including plant sterols and red yeast rice, in people with elevated cardiovascular risk. The statin lowered LDL clearly. The tested supplements did not significantly beat placebo over 28 days. That does not erase all supplement evidence, but it does remind us that the bottle at the store is not always the same thing as the polished ingredient in a clinical trial. Now, let's rank them. Number 4. Red yeast rice. Red yeast rice is last on the list, not because it never works. It is last because it can work for the wrong reason. Red yeast rice may contain monocolin K, which is chemically identical to lovastatin. In plain English, the strongest red yeast rice products may lower cholesterol because they are basically delivering a statin-like compound in a supplement costume. That makes the marketing feel a little sneaky. It is sold as natural, but the effect may come from a drug-like molecule. And the big problem is dose uncertainty. Commercial red yeast rice products can vary wildly in monocolin K content. Some may contain almost none. Others may contain enough to create real cholesterol-lowering effects and real statin-like risks. That means muscle symptoms, liver enzyme issues, medication interactions, and rare but serious problems are not imaginary. If a product contains enough active compound to act like a statin, it deserves the respect we give a statin. This is why red yeast rice is not the casual try this with your smoothie option. It is the one where we say, talk to a clinician, especially if you are already on a statin, have liver disease, kidney disease, muscle symptoms, multiple medications, or high cardiovascular risk. The LC verdict: red yeast rice may be the strongest possible LDL drop in supplement form, but it has the worst DIY risk profile. It is not a natural alternative to a statin. It is more like a statin lottery ticket with no dose printed on the ticket. Number 3. Bergamot. Bergamot is the interesting middle child. Promising, citrusy, slightly mysterious, and probably tired of being confused with Earl Grey tea. Bergamot extract comes from Citrus bergamia and contains flavonoids that may influence lipid metabolism. Some trials show meaningful reductions in LDL-C, total cholesterol, triglycerides, inflammatory markers, and insulin resistance-related markers. That sounds exciting, and it is worth watching. But the key word is standardized. The bergamot used in a clinical trial is not automatically the same as a random bergamot capsule online. The extract, dose, flavonoid profile, manufacturing quality, and study population all matter. That is the trap with many plant extracts. One branded ingredient gets studied, then the entire internet acts like every bottle with the word bergamot on it has the same effect. That is not science, that is label cosplay. Expected magnitude? In some trials, bergamot has lowered LDL-C roughly in the 8 to 18% range. But because the evidence is more formulation-dependent and less established than psyllium or plant sterols, we should treat bergamot as a monitored experiment, not the foundation of a cholesterol plan. The best use case might be someone with mild to moderate cholesterol issues who also has triglycerides, insulin resistance, or fatty liver markers in the picture and wants a non-statin adjunct while tracking labs. The LC verdict: bergamot is promising, but not universal. Interesting does not mean automatic. Mechanisms are cool, lab results are cooler. Number 2. Plant sterols and stanols. Plant sterols and stanols are more targeted. They work mainly by competing with cholesterol absorption in the gut. Think of them as a cholesterol absorption speed bump. The evidence is fairly consistent that effective doses can lower LDL-C, often around 6 to 12%. That is not tiny, but it is also not a rescue mission if someone's ApoB is waving a red flag from the roof. Plant sterols are useful when the job is specific. Reduce cholesterol absorption a little. They can be especially interesting for people with mildly elevated LDL-C, or people who may absorb cholesterol more efficiently. They can also stack with a strong dietary pattern, and in some cases with medication under clinical guidance. But there are limitations. We do not have the same kind of hard outcome evidence for plant sterols that we have for proven lipid-lowering medications. Lowering LDL-C is directionally helpful, but we still should not pretend plant sterols are a full replacement for therapy in high-risk people. There is also a rare condition called cytosterolemia, where plant sterols can accumulate and contribute to premature atherosclerosis. That is uncommon, but it is a good reminder that even plant-based does not automatically mean free pass from biology. The LC verdict: plant sterols are a good LDL tool, but narrow. They are not a lifestyle, not a cure, and not a substitute for medication when risk is high. They are a speed bump, not a seatbelt, airbags, and anti-lock brakes. Number 1. Psyllium husk. Psyllium is the boring winner. And boring wins a lot more longevity contests than people want to admit. Psyllium is a viscous soluble fiber. When it mixes with water, it forms a gel in the gut. That gel can help trap bile acids and cholesterol, and the body may pull more cholesterol from circulation to replace bile acids. This is not just generic fiber dust. Viscosity matters. Psyllium's gel-forming effect is part of why it can modestly lower LDL-C, non-HDL cholesterol, and ApoB. The expected LDL reduction is often in the 5 to 10% range, depending on dose, baseline cholesterol, diet, and consistency. It is not dramatic. It will not make a 190 LDL disappear like a magic trick. But it is real, stackable, and comes with side benefits. Better bowel regularity, better satiety, potential glucose improvements, a small blood pressure nudge in some analyses. Basically, psyllium is the friend who shows up early, brings water, cleans the kitchen, and does not ask for attention. But there are rules. Psyllium needs fluid, do not take it dry. It can swell, and swallowing it without enough water can be dangerous. It can also interfere with medication absorption if taken at the same time, so a conservative rule is to separate it from oral medications by about 2 hours unless your clinician gives different instructions. The LC verdict: psyllium is the best first-line supplement nudge. It is modest, measurable, low cost, and stackable with a Mediterranean-style diet, higher fiber foods, and better metabolic habits. Now let's put the ranking into real life. Psyllium is the broom. It helps sweep cholesterol-related material through the gut and supports regularity. Plant sterols are the speed bump. They reduce cholesterol absorption a little. Bergamot is the promising citrus extract. Interesting data, but formulation-dependent. Red yeast rice is the statin lottery ticket. It can work, but the uncertainty and safety profile make it the one we do not play with casually. Here are the decision rules. Rule 1. Test, don't guess. Get a baseline lipid panel and ApoB if possible, then recheck after 8 to 12 weeks. If the lab number does not move, the supplement is just a subscription. Rule 2. Match the tool to the problem. Mild LDL elevation may respond to diet, psyllium, plant sterols, weight loss if needed, and better metabolic health. But known heart disease, LDL around 190 or higher, diabetes with elevated risk, chronic kidney disease, very high ApoB, high LP(a), strong family history, or coronary calcium showing plaque is not supplement-only territory. Rule 3. Stack safe, not reckless. Psyllium plus a Mediterranean-style diet is stackable. Psyllium plus plant sterols may be stackable. Bergamot can be a monitored experiment. Red yeast rice plus a statin is not a clever hack unless a clinician is directly managing it. Rule 4. Do not delay real therapy. A supplement that lowers LDL 5 to 10% may be useful. But if someone needs a 30, 40, or 60% reduction, the math has already left the supplement aisle. Rule 5. Quality matters. Supplements are not approved for effectiveness before they hit the market. Third-party testing can help verify identity, purity, and strength, but it still does not prove the product will lower your ApoB. The final ranking is simple. Psyllium is number 1 for best overall safe nudge. Plant sterols are number 2 for targeted LDL absorption support. Bergamot is number 3 for promising but formulation-dependent evidence. Red yeast rice is number 4 because it can be powerful, but too unpredictable and drug-like for casual DIY use. And the real winner is not any bottle. The real winner is the person who gets baseline labs, changes one variable at a time, repeats the labs, and stops confusing hope with evidence. If this helped you sort the useful from the risky, tap like, subscribe to Longevity Compass, and check the description for our Amazon KDP book and episode tools that support better tracking, fiber intake, and heart health habits. Because the goal is not to own more supplements. The goal is to need fewer guesses.